The UFC lightweight division has been buzzing with drama recently, with Ilia Topuria and Pimb at the center of the storm. In a stunning display of confidence after his knockout victory over Michael Chandler, Pimb has made waves with his brash comments about Ilia Topuria. Not one to mince words, Patty went all out, labeling Topuria as irrelevant in the current 155-pound title picture. Patty didn't hold back, saying, "To be honest, I forgot about him. I forgot all about him. Or I would have mentioned him in the cage. You know what I mean? I don't call him his sanitizer boy anymore. He's now just it." Continuing to dismiss Topuria's achievements, Patty claimed that he was ranked higher in the lightweight division and that Topuria should stop waiting around for a title shot. According to Patty, Topuria is just another name on the list of people he can beat, adding that he'd do to Topuria what he did to Chandler, who he claimed was easier than expected. Patty's confidence was clear as he declared, "Ilia is even more of a hand than Chandler is. I'll do the exact same things to him that I did to Chandler." Patty sees the fight as nothing more than a stepping stone in his ascent to the top. However, Ilia Topuria had a different response altogether. Known for his fiery spirit and rising dominance, Topuria didn't take the comments lying down. Instead of being rattled by Patty's dismissive tone, Ilia welcomed the challenge. "What excites me more is a fight with Patty," Topuria said. "That fight excites me even more." He even went so far as to suggest that the fight could take place in Spain, in the iconic Bernabeu Stadium, to add an extra layer of drama and significance to the bout. For Ilia, it's more than just a fight. It's an opportunity to make history on home soil. "If we could do that fight in the Bernabeu Stadium, that would be something special," he said. While Dana White may be reluctant to put events in stadiums, Topuria argued that the Bernabeu is unique in that it could close its roof, providing the perfect venue for what could be a spectacular showdown. The possibility of this fight, two rising stars in the sport with contrasting styles, has fans eagerly anticipating what could be one of the most electrifying matchups in UFC history. Moving on to the featherweight division, Makhachev has recently shared his thoughts on how he plans to dethrone Alexander Volkanovski and become the next UFC featherweight champion. After the speculation about his potential matchup with Volkanovski, Makhachev stepped into the Overdogs podcast to lay out his strategy for defeating the Australian champion. Makhachev, known for his high-pressure style and exceptional wrestling, said, "I think if I trap him, I'll just push him to the wall so he can't run from me." His plan involves controlling Volkanovski, forcing him into exchanges, and ultimately breaking him down physically and mentally. With a mix of superior power, wrestling, and cardio, Makhachev believes he has what it takes to overwhelm Volkanovski over 5 rounds. Makhachev also opened up about how his striking has evolved. He explained, "In the last fight with Aljo, I was focused almost 100% on striking because you see everyone was only talking about how I have no finishes, like I just have a wrestling style. I was trying to show them that I have good striking also." While he didn't get the chance to display his striking fully in that fight due to Aljo's grappling, Makhachev is confident that his striking, combined with his wrestling, makes him a complete fighter. As the undefeated Russian fighter eyes the title, he remains confident that his wrestling, cardio, and evolving striking will be more than enough to dethrone Volkanovski and take over the featherweight division. On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan discussed some of the hardest hitters in combat sports history. When it comes to knockout power, Rogan didn't hesitate to name Alex "Potent" Pereira as the scariest kickboxer of all time. Rogan explained, "The dude's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. That power is from God. He's got a weird gift that's just different from anyone else." Pereira, who has become one of the most feared strikers in both kickboxing and MMA, has earned the reputation of being able to end fights with a single strike. Rogan praised his technique, power, and precision, making it clear that when Pereira hits, it's a game changer. However, there is one exception to the rule: former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou. Rogan acknowledged that Ngannou may have more raw power than anyone else in combat sports, though he conceded that when it comes to technique, Pereira's skill level is unmatched. In Rogan's eyes, Pereira is the most terrifying striker in MMA today. His ability to knock out opponents with clean, calculated strikes puts him in a league of his own. As for Ngannou, despite his exit from the UFC, his reputation as one of the hardest hitters in the world remains solid. Dustin the Diamond Poirier has been in the mix with the best in the UFC lightweight division for years, and his thoughts on Paddy Pimblett's rise are significant. In a recent interview with MMA Junkie, Poirier admitted that he has now fully recognized Paddy as a legitimate threat. After Pimblett's recent win over Michael Chandler, Poirier gave him the respect he deserves, saying, "How can I deny him anymore? Chandler's a tough guy, but Paddy went out there and dropped the first round, came back confident, and hit Chandler with some big shots." Poirier believes it's time for Paddy to face another big test. "Put him in there with Dan Hooker," Poirier suggested. A fight between Paddy and Hooker would undoubtedly be a fan favorite, with both fighters known for their willingness to stand and trade in the cage. With Hooker's solid takedown defense and striking, it would be a battle of skill and willpower. Islam Makhachev, the lightweight champion, has made waves with his recent comments about the UFC. After a rumored super fight with Ilia Topuria started to gain momentum, Makhachev made it clear that he has no interest in facing Topuria unless it's for a specific reason. Islam, who had initially planned one more defense at lightweight, is now focusing on moving up to welterweight. His ultimate goal? To win a second belt and cement his legacy as a two-division champion. Islam stated, "There are no more exciting fights left for me at lightweight. I need that second belt, or I'm done." The UFC is caught in a dilemma, as they have been pushing for a Topuria super fight, but Islam has threatened to retire if forced into it. The pressure is now on Dana White and the UFC. Will they grant Makhachev his welterweight shot, or will they push for the fight with Topuria and risk losing one of their most dominant champions? In the midst of this, the UFC lightweight division continues to evolve, with rising stars like Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria making their mark. Fans are eager to see how these fighters will continue to shape the future of the sport. The question remains, will Islam Makhachev continue his dominance in lightweight, or will he make history as a two-division champion? Time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the UFC is never